Why are some people willing to be unhappy? Because they have a flawed premise. They believe that the manifestation brings the happiness, and since it hasn't happened yet, they choose to feel unhappy, and then they block themselves from the happiness that they would have along the journey, along the way to the manifestation. You get to be or have or do anything that you desire. Nothing off limits. The launching of your rockets of desire creates a vibrational reality. This vibrational reality exists, and you can exist with it or apart from it, and the emotions that you feel indicate to you which you're doing. The happier you are, the more in vibrational alignment with your vibrational reality you are, and the more you are going to be a witness to the thoughts turning to things. So it's going to be joyful, 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 explosion into greater joy. But you can also be apart from it, which does not feel good. But these are choices that you have, that we want you to be aware that you have. And so you have to sometimes start in a general place where you realize that you can get general enough that your happiness will return. And once you get general enough, even on subjects that are really bothering you, so that you allow your happiness to return, then you can get back in sync. And then what the unhappiness contrast caused in the vortex can now be realized by you. In other words, you can't live a miserable enough experience, no matter how miserable it is or how much angst you've felt from it. You've contributed to your vortex in a mighty way. But now you've got to figure out a way to get access to that vortex. That vortex is in the process of manifesting. But you must be the realizer of the manifestation, because your vortex cannot manifest apart from your conscious realization of it. Does that make sense to you? You created it. You've got to match up to it. Your consciousness, your focus, your realization. That's what turning thoughts to things is. It's realizing. It's turning it to reality. It's focusing it into realness. And Abraham, I sort of kind of get this, but how do I get my money out of the vortex and into the bank? How do I turn those vibrations into reality? How do I turn vibrations to thoughts, which are manifestations? And how do those thoughts become things? I've got to be willing to just maybe accept on trust or faith enough that happiness is the way you feel when you're in that alignment. And unless you're in that alignment, you're not going to consciously witness the unfolding. And so we know that if we could get you just for a little while to contemplate what it feels like to be the manifester of the idea rather than of the material object, the manifester of the concept rather than the material object, the manifester of the emotion, the manifester of the state of being, the manifester of the alignment. If you can be the manifester of being in vibrational alignment with your inner being, ooh, happily ever after, happily ever after, happily ever after, with spikes of ecstasy sprinkled all through it. Happily ever after, happily ever after, happily ever after, happily ever after, happily ever after.